G'day guys and welcome back to Casual Rage. Prepare to start the show, R2. This is where the fun begins. G'day guys and welcome to Casual Rage 133, where we casually rage out about the topics of the week. This week we've got a fair bit to talk about because I missed last week, of course, because it was the end of the month for work and the end of financial year, and it was a bit busy and a bit hectic, but I'm here now and we're going to go through some of the shit that's been going on over the last couple of weeks. Of course, there's all the Star Wars news that's been coming out. I will say it's sort of died down. It surprised me a little bit because it sort of died down, especially with Ahsoka coming up soon. Excuse me. I thought it was going to sort of ramp up a little bit more and we were going to sort of start getting more and more news. I think the Indiana Jones stuff has really taken over, like the Lucasfilm news recently. So that's why I think there's not been a lot of Star Wars stuff coming out. But yeah, we're also going to talk a little bit about The Witcher. We're going to talk about Indiana Jones a bit. We're going to talk about Kathleen Kennedy and Star Wars. And of course, we've got Seal of the Week as well, as per usual. Sorry, guys, I also haven't been putting out a lot of content. My last video actually did reasonably well. Got a good 850 views. I know in the grand scheme of things, that's quite small. That's nothing. For me, it's good. That was on the rumor about Kathleen Kennedy being fired or going from Lucasfilm, which we will talk about again today. But I was talking to Yellow Flash because, of course, I've been doing Flashcasts, and I was talking to Yellow Flash, and I really do need to sort of start moving away from just Star Wars stuff. And the one thing that I like, and like with what I've done with the channel, is that my channel isn't named after a Star Wars, like it's not a Star Wars based channel. It's Raging Rhino. Rhino's me. I rage a bit. I get very passionate and I talk a lot about the things that I love. And one of those things that I love especially has been Star Wars. So that's why I find it very easy to talk about that and get very passionate about it. It's so funny. I got one of those private messages the other day, you know, the DMs, the requests in your Twitter. And it just said that I was pathetic, basically. That I'm always, what was it? I can't remember now, but yeah, it was just stupid. So stupid. Those ones are so funny when I see them. Some of them can be really good. Like there was a person the other week that came in and said like, I really like your videos. You're doing a great job, blah, blah, blah. And they're always nice to get, but then you always get the death thready kind of ones or the you are pathetic. Thought that was funny. But yes, we are here. We are live. We are ready to go. We'll see how we go for time. I do need, look at this bushy beard, man. I need to get to the barbershop. I'm starting to look a bit too scruffy at work. So, and the neck beard and everything. So we need to clean this up a bit. So I got to get to the barbershop today because, of course, my days off are all consumed with doing YouTube stuff. So I got to try and find some time. But let's quickly go through the chat and say hello to you guys out there. Thank you all for being here. Please smash the like button, share the stream out, all of that good stuff. We've got Fractured Filter in the chat, or at least he was in the chat. He'll come back and watch the replay because he's always at work or doing something when the stream is going. So any of the people, including you, Fractured Filter, of course, that come back and rewatch the stream over, I appreciate you guys and thank you so much for being here. Please do smash that like button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of any of the topics that we talk about. Of course, it's always great to have you. Nitrium's here in the chat. We got Dan Blackroyd saying, smash the thumbs up. The Civil War is over. Man, the Civil War never began. Never began? Began. Nitrium also says, Indy 5's epic failure could mean the end of KK. It could. Absolutely, it could. But even if she survives, it should, at the very least, mean the end of her stupid Ray movie set to start filming in April 2024. You'd think, but you would think this after a lot of the failures of Lucasfilm. Like just, I mean, not even Star Wars, not even the big parts of Lucasfilm. Willow. I mean, they removed it off the streaming service. They removed it off Disney Plus. Lucasfilm has been just one failure after another, after another, after another. And I know there are people out there that will disagree with that because they loved Obi-Wan Kenobi, or they loved Book of Boba Fett, or they loved Andor. But it really has, like and then you look at the theme parks and the Star Wars hotel and all of that sort of stuff. It has been just constant failure after failure. So you would think that she should go, but she seems to be the most protective species in all of Hollywood. And then he goes on to say, surely Disney wouldn't pump another 259 plus million into a KK project, right? Again, you would think so. And this is the thing too, like Indiana Jones, that was, I'm hearing now reports that it was like near $330 million budget for that movie. And it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if it was. Yeah. Surely they wouldn't pump another $200, $300 million into another KK project. But she seems to just continue getting the funding, continue getting the money. Who else have we got here? We got E. Clay Thomason, member. Welcome. Thank you. And all the members, thank you for your membership. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. Yeah, massively appreciated. Open airlock policy. Tim, we're going to have to get you back on Casual Rage soon, Tim. Just to have a bit of a, what do they call it? Reunion. You, me, and Greg. I have to get you all three of us together again. I have been invited to go on to the spacing with Tim again soon. It is hard because I'm working the day that they do the spacing, and then it sort of gets really late for them or really early in the morning for them when I finish work. So it does become hard. Prue is in the chat. How you doing? My second favorite Aussie after Bancroft. Bancroft is awesome. He's a good dude. I was watching some of his shorts and some of his channel, and he does some really good stuff over there. And if you haven't backed his book, his comic, he's got his own website. He's done it a bit like Ripper has, and it's really, really good. I backed it. He came on the Full Aussie last week, and it was really, really awesome to have him. Mike Hill, the great Mike Hill. Dude, half of these streams wouldn't happen, honestly, if it wasn't for Mike. I don't have a lot of time on my hands to be able to like I try and keep as up to date as I can. Like I watch Ryan's videos because there's a lot of news in there, and he does a lot of good work in regards to just getting the news out, getting all these different things out and everything. So I kind of try and keep up to date with that. But with how much work I've got on my plate at the moment with real world work, it's very hard to keep up to date. So Mike, dude, I really appreciate you constantly sending me stuff, DMing me stuff, seals of the week. He'll send me articles or little topics or things that have come up. He's great. And thanks for the membership too, dude. I really, really appreciate all the members. I appreciate all of you. But like people go that extra step sometimes and they contribute and support in such a way that it's so, you could say it's so unnecessary. It's unnecessary for people to send super chats. You're paying money to write a comment, for me to read your comment. I try and read people in the chat as much as I can. And as you know, I've got a bit of dyslexia, so it is a little bit difficult for me sometimes. But I really, really appreciate the support that I get from doing this. It's pretty good, pretty crazy. D Car's in the chat saying hail chat and fuck Disney. Yeah, fuck Disney, man. I'll play the clip for you guys.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off, Disney! You fucking cunt! Who else we got? Sean's in the chat. How you doing, Sean? Let's see. Veringer? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly, but again, thank you for being here. You're awesome. Greg is in the chat. Kathleen Kennedy is not the only one in Hollywood failing upwards. That's true too, because you look at the entertainment that we're getting at the moment, and there's not a lot of good stuff. There's really not. I must admit, I am really looking forward to Mission Impossible. I think that's actually it drops tomorrow, I think, here in Australia, if it hasn't already. I'm really looking forward to that. And that is a movie that I will go and see in the theater. And it's more so to support what I would perceive to be good entertainment. Tom Cruise has done a great job in regards to thanking fans and being there for fans and all of that sort of thing. I think that the Top Gun Maverick, I think it was good. I think it was actually a really good and well put together movie. And I went and saw that in the theater with my brother-in-law. I thought that was excellent. So yeah, you're right. She's not the only one failing upwards, but it was like I sort of said in my video, and we'll probably talk about this a little bit more, but Kathleen Kennedy goes from Lucasfilm. What changes? What's going to change? What's going to change? I just want to read this. They've lost so much money in the last few years. You'd think they'd start taking a more courteous approach to this stuff. No, I don't know. I'm going to fuck it up. But you would think that they would take cautious. Sorry, I got it. You'd think they'd take a much cautious approach to this stuff. Man, you would think. Sorry, I got to take these off. It's getting hot around my neck. It's not about, though, being cautious. It's not about being like, they don't need to step on eggshells. They just need to entertain. They just need to put good scripts together. And I don't know what the deal is with the writer's strike. Is that thing still going? Because the more I hear, like, how long's this going for? Keely Chow's here in the chat. How you doing, Keely? Good to see you. Keely's always here. Star Wars Marvel Purist is in the chat. Yes, keeping the seals in check. Benzo's here. How you doing, Benzo? Good to see you as well. Benzo's been around a long time. I remember seeing him in chats like 4 years ago. So been around a long time. Been coming in, saying hello. Let's see. If I missed anyone. Tillium's here. Sorry, what I just saw what you wrote above. I was actually reading this one. I'm like, hang on a second, that's leads on from something. That's all right, man. You got an appointment for your cat today at the vet? I hope everything's all right. I love my cats. They're getting on a bit. Actually, funnily enough, I've got their birth certificates right here if you want to know when they were born and how old they are. So Eric was born on the 4th of August, 2016. So their birthdays are coming up. And Charles was born on the 15th of August, 2016. So they're literally about 2 weeks apart. What else we got here? Melissa Lord's in the chat. How you doing, Melissa? You love that clip. That was made by Daniel James. And it was so funny because it was just so, like, obviously on a stream. This was early days. I was really angry about Star Wars. And I can't remember what stream it was from. Where I just, fuck off, Disney, you fucking cunts. Like, I just went crazy. Actually, it might have been one of the Geek Blend streams that we did. Do you remember, Greg? Because Greg would have probably been there. Greg probably would have been there. Who else we got? Arbaru is in the chat. Hey, everyone. G'day, Arbaru. Do I remember what now? When I said this, what stream it was on?
They came bounding over.
Fuck off, Disney, you fucking cunt! I can't remember whether or not it was a stream that I did with Lethal or like on a full Aussie or something, or whether or not it was actually on like a Geek Blend stream when we did the Raging Geek Jedi show, or I honestly can't remember, but it was a long time ago. And then Daniel, because that's a clip from an Australian news report where he's talking about dogs but coming and bounding over, and yeah, he put it to that, and it was perfect. It worked out perfectly, and it's been going ever since. Hundreds of them. I don't fucking know. Yeah, I can't remember either. All right, let's just have a look over here for a second. Arbaru for $25 over on Streamlabs. Thank you very much. There's no comment, dude. Did you write something or did you just send a donation? I appreciate that either way. And if you did write something, please write it in the chat because it's not showing up over on my Streamlabs. But dude, thank you very much for the $25. Again, so appreciative. The members, the super chats, the support, just the general support, like everybody being here. We got 22 people watching. You know, awesome. Awesome. Actors most likely to follow the writers into the strike. What? Rhino, do not forget the cat's birthdays. It isn't you. What are you talking about, Tim? I always forget their birthdays. I forget, but I'm bad with dates. I'm really good with a lot of stuff, but when it comes to like dates and birthdays and stuff, I'm really bad. All right. We got everything over there. All right, let's get into our first topic. The first thing that I've got to share with us today. So Netflix has released Witcher season 3, and I haven't been watching it. I watched season 1, and I didn't mind it. I thought it wasn't too bad. Watched season 2, wasn't as good as season 1. I didn't mind it either. I know that there's a lot of people that had a lot of problems with it, and it already started steering away from essentially the source material. So I can understand why people had problems with it. The thing for me is that when I haven't played the game or I haven't dove massively into it, I can sort of just see it on the surface and it wasn't too bad. However, there was sort of identity politics and stuff creeping into season 2, but I didn't mind it. But then we get into season 3, and of course we had the announcement that Henry Cavill was going because they're not being loyal to the source material, and they're going to be recasting with the Hemsworth brother, Liam, for season 4. So, of course, because of all of this and because of how much Henry Cavill is a geek, he's a nerd, he loves the source material, he loves Warhammer 40K, he loves his Witcher stuff, he loves these IPs, and he loves being beholden to the source material. He actually doesn't mind that because that's where the whole thing came from, and that's where the support comes from, right? But after Smear Campaign attempted to paint former star as toxic, Netflix's The Witcher cast praise Henry Cavill as a very supportive and funny, good-natured personality. See, that's where my fucking thing comes in. Professional. So I don't want to read the article, but I actually want to watch this clip because I saw this and I thought, there's a lot that sort of contradicts just in watching this, right? God damn, she's so hot, I reckon. All right, let's just, I better put my headphones in, eh? Let's go.
Obviously this is Henry's, final season. The good news is we still have a couple episodes to enjoy of, all you guys together.
I just want to pause there because as soon as he says this is Henry's final season, you can almost see all their faces just go, like they're sad about this.
But taking us maybe behind the scenes a little bit, what was it like filming kind of the final episodes with you guys as a group, and how are you feeling about that? And also,
do they look happy? I mean, this smile that she just put on then is a pretty fake sort of smile. Does he look happy? Does she look happy?
How excited are you for kind of the next chapter with Liam and what's to come?
So excited. Yeah. Can't wait to have Liam on board, and well, he is, but like meet him and have him as Geralt. It's going to be bizarre, and I feel like I'm definitely going to feel that loss. I think we all will. He's Henry's been incredible and carried the show. So definitely going to feel that. But
he carried the show, did he? And very excited. They all look very excited about having Liam come in and take over.
Very, very excited for what's to come. There's so much story to tell. So
yeah, so much fake Witcher story to tell. Even before she started speaking, just the eyebrow raise that she had, and then they look at sort of each other.
Oh, and Frey and Joey, do you guys kind of feel the same way chiming in?
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it's intriguing and exciting to get to see another version of this or interpretation of this character.
Another interpretation of the character, like something that again, look at their faces, man. I know this is a freeze frame. Like, she's now looking completely disinterested. She's given her answer. She's looking at something on the ceiling. She's looking at something on the ground, and so is he. Now, look, there might be monitors, and this is what they're actually looking at because obviously it's done over, they're not actually sitting in the same room together. So there could be a bit of that. But again, they completely look disinterested in actually touching on this.
Yeah, very excited, and we'll all miss Henry greatly. And as you say, behind the scenes, he's always just been a very, very supportive and funny, good-natured, professional who was always the first to laugh on those bad days and to crack jokes. And that presence is cemented in the DNA of the show.
Yeah, and cemented in probably our us playing our characters. I mean, I know that I won't be able to help but visualize him going forward. It's just that's been Geralt, but I'm still really excited to see something new as well.
Yeah.
It seems so like they've obviously got to promote it. They've obviously got to try and talk it up the best way they can. But she's going to find it hard not to see Henry in that role when Liam's standing in front of her and they're doing these scenes or whatever. I don't know how anyone can sort of sit there and think, oh yeah, look, they look really excited. They're really excited about the next step moving forward with The Witcher. And again, I haven't watched season 3, and because of everything that happened with Henry, I don't really have an interest in it. And as I said, I didn't mind season 1. I didn't mind season 2. That had a few issues for me, but I liked the characters. I liked the way that it was sort of rolling out. And I know that there are people watching season 3 that don't have an interest or hate what's actually happened. Just because it is Henry's last season. And I know, I can't remember who it was that I was listening to. I think it was Wicked Virtue. And she was talking about how when Henry is in a scene, yes, I finally got some of the actual Witcher. We're actually seeing some of the actual Witcher. And then sort of you get 10 minutes of that and it goes off and does something else. But again, you look at their faces, you look at the way that they're talking about it, they seem apathetic about this whole situation. And again, with the smear campaign that did come out, right, on Henry or about Henry and how he's toxic, because anyone that wants lore and wants the source material to be honored and all of that sort of thing has to be toxic because it's embedded in, who knows, the patriarchy. This is how things get reported. But then you go and see the other cast members talk about him. And like I said, it just comes across as they're not excited for it. They're getting a paycheck, so they've got to continue doing their roles. I mean, they could walk away, but they're not going to. It just came across as really disingenuous. They look very apathetic about it. And I kind of hate it because I did like the Witcher series. I liked it. I might check that out. Watch the Witcher anime film. It's really good. Let's see. I owe Henry Cavill exactly $0 and 0 loyalty. Fair enough. I just it's kind of like with Tom Cruise, for example, right? He is trying to make entertainment. He's trying to entertain fans. He's trying to entertain audiences. And it comes across as there's no real, none of the identity politics, none of the bullshit that we're seeing in Hollywood in a lot of the stuff that Tom Cruise is doing at the moment. And I feel like Henry Cavill wants to do that too. And that's the feeling that I get. That's what comes across for me. I mean, I got no loyalty to them either. But if they really do want to do something good and they actually want to entertain and they really want to give you that escapist entertainment, because that's what entertainment is. That's what films are. That's what TV shows are. then, you know, I'm willing to give them my time. I'm willing to give them my money. But not like this. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I ignore that. You know why I ignore that. So yeah, that's The Witcher. That's what's going on with that at the moment. Has anyone in the chat actually watched any of season 3? Anyone here watched any of it? Let's see. Henry was there from the start. He could have made changes at any point. Any problems with the show so far can be attributed to him also. Look, I don't know about that. I don't know if these actors have as much power as what some people think. Like, I don't know. I don't necessarily know how Hollywood works. I know that people, like actors, can sometimes ad-lib something in, or, you know, change something from the script, like a bit of dialogue here or something there. But he went to them. Henry went to them and said, I just want to stay loyal to the source material. That's my understanding of what happened. And they said no. So he said, okay, see you later. Look, I'm not trying to sit here and defend necessarily Henry Cavill, but I still think that to some degree, he is loyal to the things that he loves. You know, it's very different from, let's say, a Dave Filoni. Henry Cavill is very different to a Dave Filoni. At least Henry Cavill has the balls to walk away when they go, no, we're going to do our own thing. We want to make Shiri or Siri or whatever their fucking name is, the Witcher. You know, unlike Harrison Ford in the new Indiana Jones film, where they want to just cuck him and put him down and all of this kind of stuff. He could have walked away and said, I'm not doing this. Mark Hamill, when he completely came out and said to everybody that he completely disagrees with the way Rian Johnson sees his character. He could have walked away, couldn't he? Would they have sued him because he voided his contract? Maybe. I don't know how it all works, but the one thing that I can say that I've seen is that people like Henry Cavill, people like Tom Cruise, when it comes to the things that they're doing within Hollywood, within the entertainment that they're doing, they want to entertain. They want to give you the escapist entertainment. Dave Filoni doesn't give a fuck about that. Fucking most of Lucasfilm don't give a fuck about that. Most of the actors are just getting a paycheck. These guys that we just watched don't look happy about what's happening. Are they walking away? Are they walking away from the paycheck? No, they're apparently, I'm excited to see where we can take this, to see what the next step is, to see how it evolves and what it moves into. I'm so excited. So monotone and lame. No, that's right. Dave Filoni does love what he's doing and has no reason to walk away. And he is getting whatever he wants. That is true. But what he's doing isn't loyal to George Lucas. It isn't loyal to the fans. It's not loyal to Star Wars. It's not loyal to the source material. That's true. Tom Cruise may be 100% Looney Tune, but he knows how to entertain. Whether or not some of that entertainment is through the fucking Looney Toony shit that he does, it's disappointing. Maverick was not loyal to Top Gun. I don't know. I thought it was fine. Thought there was a couple of bits that were a bit like convenient, but I still think it was a decent movie. And hello to all the new people that have jumped in the chat. Appreciate you. Sith Assassin trailer. And Crazy Mad. I see all you guys. Christopher's here. He says it's Raging Rhino. Indiana Jones has been overdone. Well, like in the like people talking about it's been overdone, or you mean like it's just been over? Like, I mean, this is a movie they should never have made. It really is. Let me actually bring that up. So, of course, we hear a lot about Indiana Jones and in regards to the actual box office and stuff like that and how it's failing and everything. Now, to me, it's obvious that this movie is probably going to fail. There's not a lot of good stuff to talk about with this movie. And I have seen the movie. I didn't go to watch it. I didn't pay to watch it or anything like that, but I have seen the movie and it is bad. It is a very, very bad movie. I don't even know which one's worse, whether or not it's Crystal Skull or this movie. I kind of feel like, to an extent, this movie is pushed over the edge and actually makes Crystal Skull probably look a little bit better. That's just my own personal opinion on it. But Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is garbage. It's a horrible movie. It's definitely got the identity politics and the Kathleen Kennedy insert and all of that sort of stuff that people talk about. And of course, like I said, with the box office, it has been pretty bad. Now, this is from Bounding Into Comics. When did this come out? A couple of days ago, the 3rd. So we're the 7th now. So we're a little bit away from when this actually dropped. But Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny bombs at the box office. Only 9% of moviegoers heard it was good from friends and family. That doesn't surprise me in the slightest. It doesn't surprise me in the slightest because I watched this movie and honestly, the first half an hour of the movie, I was screaming in my seat. Like I didn't want to continue watching it. I forced myself to sit there and just get through this movie. All right. I know Flash wanted to talk about it over on Flashcast. And like, there was no way that if I turned it off halfway through, I was going to go back and finish it because it was that I never wanted to really watch it in the first place. Right. But I decided to just sit through it and watch it. And it was pretty bad. I did get sent the pitch meeting for it. And I'll probably watch that. And I don't really like watching too many of those things. It takes away from the clicks on the actual channel. But anyway, it doesn't surprise me that people didn't hear that this is good from friends and family because it's not a good movie. And again, I keep hearing the budget changing. It was $295 million and then it's hit. We're over the $300 million mark, and now we're pushing the $330 million mark. And again, with all the advertising that they do, I keep hearing different figures in regards to what this movie needs to do to break even. Obviously, when money goes through the box office, all the money in the box office isn't all going to the studios that actually made the movie. They're getting, 60%, 40% goes to the cinemas, and I don't exactly know how the calculation works. I'm not that savvy and I don't get into it too much. But this movie is not going to make money. It isn't a good movie. It's a, how do I describe it? It is the MacGuffin thing that sort of pushes the story forward as opposed to sort of interactions, personalities, and getting to certain places. There's this one part in the movie where I can't remember her name, Helena, this chick back here, she's translating something for the bad guy, and she translates it falsely for him, so he thinks that it's somewhere else. And then they get away from the bad guy, and then they turn in a different direction than the way that he thinks. He's looking through binoculars at them, that he thinks that they should be going if they were going to the place that she said that the thing was at. And he's like, oh, it's kind of like they're turning left, not right. That must mean it's over here, not over there. And then he just shows up at the destination. Like, it is a bad movie. Bad. And this just goes to show how much Lucasfilm and everything, these Lucasfilm specifically, don't give a fuck about entertaining. Like what we were talking about before, Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise and those sorts of things that are coming out. They don't give a fuck about that. They care more about the identity politics. And throughout this entire movie, Indiana Jones is completely cucked. He is completely put down and essentially destroyed. This is that movie that you don't want to see your hero of the movie destroyed this way. It is another Luke Skywalker moment within Lucasfilm. Can you believe that? I mean, I can, because it's fucking Kathleen Kennedy and it's Disney Lucasfilm. It's Disney. Look at what Disney's doing. Take away the Lucasfilm part for a second. What's Disney coming out with recently that's been any fucking good? I'm hearing some pretty bad things about Marvel and the what is it, the Secret War or whatever it is that they came out with. I'm so tapped out of the Marvel stuff. All the Pixar stuff that they're coming out with has been an abomination. But this movie is absolute garbage. It's garbage. And like I said, it doesn't surprise me that people aren't hearing good things about it. Only 9% of moviegoers heard it was good. 9%. I mean, that's a small amount because there's not a lot of people that are actually going to see this movie, because Hollywood and especially Disney and especially Lucasfilm have pushed a lot of their audiences away with their bullshit. And I just thought I'd show you this. This is from that fucking Shell Star Wars holocron. Daisy Ridley praises Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, right? Of course she does. Of course she does. She's in tight with Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm. This film is excellent, she says. Now, this must be a picture taken over at Instagram. It looks like it is. Of course she's going to say that. She's got to maintain her job. She's got one contract in her entire life, and that's to play Rey Skywalker in the next upcoming movie. And it moves me to this too. So Karen Allen on Indiana Jones 5. When Steven Spielberg was going to direct the film, I think the script, and this is where I don't really know, take it with a grain of salt, guys. I think the scripts were more focused on Indy and Marion, on Indy and Marion's story, or on an Indy and Marion's story. Now, that probably would have been better. I mean, the way that they did him dirty with his family and stuff like this, and the way that Helena in this movie fucking claps back at him for not being this father figure. And, you know, you're no good at being a fucking dad. You're no good at being a family man. Like, it is fucking horrible. Fucking horrible. And the fact that Steven Spielberg walked away from this tells you a lot. Now, whether or not, I don't know. Tell me, chat. Did Steven Spielberg walk away? Or was it the fact that he got fired from it because he didn't want to do what they, like, I don't know. Creative differences. That's the one thing that we hear a lot coming out of Disney, coming out of Lucasfilm, coming out of Hollywood. Oh, the creative difference. There was the creativity of what we wanted as a studio, Kathleen Kennedy is completely different to what the director wanted to do. So we'll get rid of the director and we'll get somebody in that's a yes man, that will say yes, that will do what we want. The fact that this movie needs to make, again, I'm hearing 850 million, 900 million, I don't know, to break even. This movie ain't going to hit that. It's not. For an Indiana Jones movie as well, it should. I mean, apparently its opening weekend tracked worse than the Crystal Skull that came out in like 2008 or something. I can't remember exactly. It's horrible. And the thing that I hate about this too is the fact that all these studios seem to be able to do at the moment is grab stuff from our past that was good, that we liked, that entertained us, that gave us the escapist entertainment, and destroy it moving forward. We got to do a sequel, or we got to do a remake of this because this made money back then. Why do you think it made money? Because it was a good, entertaining, well-written script. It was just good, right? There was great elements, great moral stands. There was all of these different elements in different movies. And now we get to a point where it's all of that is just thrown out the window for what? I know we keep hearing it, the identity politics and all of this sort of thing. Yeah, there is that in there. But what is this movie really supposed to be? And it's funny, you know, the opening scene to this Indiana Jones movie in the Dial of Destiny. I was watching the opening 10, 20 minutes when he's on the train and they de-age him and all of that kind of thing. And other than the fact that it was a bit botchy through the de-aging and the CGI there, and the fact that it was old man voice Indiana Jones with a young body Indiana Jones, that was a bit jarring for me. I thought that it wasn't too bad, other than the fact that the fucking bad guy gets clocked on moving on this train and then he just shows up out of nowhere. But then I went and watched EFAP's breakdown of the movie. And of course, they start from the beginning and they go through that part of it. It's like, man, I mean, sometimes these guys see things that I don't see. And look, I don't always agree with them. I certainly don't agree with them when it comes to Andor. You know. Greg says, Spielberg walked away out of loyalty to George Lucas. They would have let him do whatever he wanted, whatever he wanted to, as long as Ford was on board. So what, is it Harrison Ford's fault that this movie is the way it is? See, that's what I'm talking about. At least Spielberg had the balls to go, no, fuck you. This isn't George Lucas. This isn't, yeah. I wonder if George actually called him and said, please don't do this. I mean, I know Crystal Skull was still under Lucasfilm back when that was done. It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie. And I hate it. I mean, Crystal Skull was, you know, never really needed to be made. But the one thing that I will say is that at least Crystal Skull didn't destroy Indiana Jones the way this movie did. It didn't. You know, it gave him a good ending with his son and wife and all of that sort of thing. And they could have rolled straight off from how Crystal Skull ended, really. But instead, they just destroy all of that. Completely destroy it all. 1,000% on Harrison Ford. They could not have made this movie without his blessing. Well, Harrison, you gone, done, fucked up. You going and fucked up. Raging Rhino also blame Harrison Ford for ruining Indiana Jones and Han Solo. Mark Hamill for ruining Luke, as they did it for the money. Well, yeah. This is the thing, though, is like, I can understand Mark Hamill doing it for the money, but Harrison Ford doesn't need the money. He didn't need to do this. All right. That's true too. And he got more and more after, like, after everything. I don't really want to get into the politics side of it, but yeah, Mark Hamill's a fucking, like, I kind of hate it because you got to separate the character from the actor, obviously. But it's hard to do that when the actor is so much in your face with the shit that they say and the stuff that they do, and when you completely disagree with it, it does make it a little bit harder. G'day Gaming or What? How you doing? So I did watch it, but I didn't pay for it. We got it through the how do I I watched this movie through the Flashcast Blockbuster video store. That's probably the best way. They didn't get my money. I've seen the movie, but they did not get a cent from me. They did not get a cent from me. I will say the version of it that I watched definitely I needed to start gambling. There's these gambling ads in the fucking thing. It's so funny. It's sort of a running joke because every fucking movie that he sends has got these same gambling ads. Yeah, no, they didn't get my money. But I've seen the movie. And again, it wasn't like the best quality. Yeah. Yep. I became a pirate. But I didn't like, I just got sent the link through what is it? What's it called? Fucking now I need to check. Fucking hang on. Why am I blanking on this? As soon as I see it, and you guys, as soon as I say it, you guys are going to be like, you're an idiot, Rhino. Fuck. How far do I have to scroll to find what the fuck it is I'm looking for? Come on. Oh, it's coming up. I know it's coming up. It's like through the OneDrive. So like sends it and then we watch it. All cams are trash, yeah. there was like at one point there's somebody coughing. Yeah. Casino lights, yeah. Yeah, honestly, even if I didn't get sent that link, I would never see this movie. Never ever go and see this movie. Like I would never have watched it. Like the thing is okay, so let's say I didn't see the movie and it would, like, 6 months down the track, it's like on TV or something. I might have flicked it on, right? But then once I got like 20 minutes in, 30 minutes in, I would have switched it off. It was that boring and that like uncomfortable to watch that I would have switched it off. Again, the only reason why I sat through the whole thing was because Flash wanted everybody or as many people to watch it so that we could talk about it on Flashcast. So I pushed myself through it. Can you have an opinion on a film without seeing it? I will say you can, but it's harder to have an opinion on a film without seeing it. Because I will say that there is context to certain things. So sometimes you can hear somebody's review of it, and you still sort of might be a little confused by something. And it also depends on what you know. Like, again, if, for example, the Rise of Skywalker, when those leaks came out, people had opinions on what those leaks were. Now, nobody ever saw it, but you could almost say, once we found out that the leaks were true, you could almost say that you did see it. You didn't see it, but you read it and you knew exactly, because it was right. The leaks were right. So you can always sort of take some context from that. It's like even Tim, open airlock policy. When we were doing, I can't remember now. If you're in the chat, what was it? Was it Mando? Or was it Obi-Wan Kenobi? I can't remember now. I think it might have been Mando. He wasn't watching it. Now, he was obviously getting stuff from me and stuff from Greg, but he was reading like a synopsis of the episodes. I still think that he was able to have an opinion based on a synopsis. Synopsis. So don't get me wrong. Like, it's definitely harder to have an opinion on a movie or something that you haven't seen. Yeah, so that's Greg's. That's the point that I'm trying to make there. Of course, you can react to trailers, clips, reviews, plot synopsis, and full transcripts. Oh, it was the Book of Boba Fett. It's the Book of Boba Fett. Now, it might be a little bit like I do want to make the point. It might be a little bit harder to formulate an opinion when you're not actually seeing it, when you're actually just reading it. I mean, the best person that I've seen to be able to have a good, decent opinion on something without watching it has been Tim, open airlock policy. This man right here. And he's a smart dude. You know. And of course, visually, there can also be some context thrown in. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen that little clip from Bill Burr when he's saying, he talks about the no means no. And he's like, when she says no means no, well, no, it doesn't. It depends on how it's like, you know, no, stop it. Like there's that. And then you get a bad read. He says, then you get a bad read in the courtroom where she's like, she said, no, stop it. You're being really bad. Don't do that. Like, obviously, reading something is different. It's kind of like if you're having an argument with somebody and it's all over text, or you're having a disagreement with somebody and it's all over text. Sometimes it is better just to actually get on the phone or whatever and actually communicate, because the texts, the person at the other end is reading your text through spite or through like anger or whatever, whereas maybe you're not intending on coming across like that. There can be a little bit of difference there. Context can matter, right? But see, like for Tim, what helped him was the fact that he was reading, let's say, a synopsis of an episode or something like that when it came to Book of Boba Fett, and I was watching it. And I don't know, Greg, did you watch that with me as well? I can't remember which ones you watched and which ones you didn't. But like then we were able to give him context to that, and he was able to then, obviously based on what he read, was able to, you know, formulate an opinion. Let's see. You cannot give an honest opinion on a film you've not actually watched. I watched Book of Boba Fett, unfortunately. Ty, for $2, says, why do people hate the sequel trilogy? FTA, The Force Awakens, was okay. Well, first of all, the sequel trilogy, to me, does a lot of damage, right? Now, even The Force Awakens does. Now, I'm not going to deny, and I've said this multiple times, and I'm ashamed to say it because of how I think about it now and what I've seen moving forward from Lucasfilm in regards to the Star Wars stuff. But when The Force Awakens came out, I did like it. I did like it. I didn't see the problems that I had that were there. Then the more that I started watching people like EFAP or any of some of the YouTube channels out there, and I watched some good and bad reviews of these movies, the more my opinion changed, especially on this film. Right? Now, The Force Awakens was always going to do good. It was the return of Star Wars. No matter what they came out with, it was going to do well, more financially, right? But then they come out with the Last Jedi, and it changed people's opinions of what they saw with The Force Awakens. And then the more I watched The Force Awakens, the more I started to see, not even with The Last Jedi in there, the more I did start to see problems with that movie. The problem is, Ty, is that the people working at Lucasfilm, and thank you for the $2, I appreciate that. I can't remember what I was going to say because I ended up reading this comment. Force the asshole. What was I going to say? Fuck. Can't remember now. It's gone. It might come back to me. The people working at Lucasfilm and the people that Kathleen Kennedy got to do Star Wars, make Star Wars, don't give a fuck about Star Wars. Yeah, no, I know. Like, there's plenty of people out there that have told me you were bamboozled, basically. I had my Star Wars beer goggles on while I was watching that movie Because then, like I said, when I went back and I started, like I said, listening or watching EFAP and talking to other people about it, and even talking to Greg and Jeff and a few other people about that movie, the more I started to see it was a New Hope remake done poorly. And then they put in the element of Rey. The reason why Rey ended up being so powerful was because she downloaded Kylo Ren's training while he was forced torturing her, and that had to come in homework form. So I think the reason why a lot of people don't like the sequels is because, honestly, the simplest answer is because they're bad. They're bad Star Wars. It's not Star Wars. Disney Star Wars isn't Star Wars. Never actually has been, and never moving forward actually will be. They use elements of Star Wars and they try and use some of the laws around Star Wars. But of course, when they bring those things in, they tend to destroy those laws. And then the things that they create, for example, tracking fobs, they don't go into depth in explanation of how these things actually work and what they do and all of this kind of thing. It's kind of like a couple of casual rages ago that we did, a couple of streams ago. There was that one that we watched where the amount of thought and effort and the thought process that went into how a pod works in pod racing, how the repulsor lifts work, how they actually, what they do, the thought just into that device within Star Wars was huge. So that you as a viewer can suspend your disbelief to actually believe that these things could be real in the real world, at least in that real world, not in our real world, but at least in that world being real. And that's where Disney Lucasfilm loses people. Because they sit there and they go like, what is that? Or how does that work? And there's no explanation behind it. It's kind of like the best example, that I can think of for a throwaway, very small bit of dialogue that is necessary, but really gives you the amount of weight of what's actually going on, is in Ghostbusters when they're standing in the elevator talking about the proton packs that are on their back and how they're untested, basically nuclear bombs sitting on their backs. Great bit of dialogue. Great moment, they move over into the corner when he turns it on. Great. There's nothing like that in Disney Star Wars because they feel like at Lucasfilm that they don't need to do that. I lost a few people. Maybe they were, maybe they liked The Force Awakens. They didn't like what I had to say. Yeah, there's a lot of people that didn't like it as soon as they watched it. But I must admit, I was one of those people. I was one of those people that sat there and said, this is Star Wars. I've got to love it. Until I took my beer goggles off and I actually started to see the problems. And that's due to and help from a lot of people out there. Raging Shill. Disney Shill. I probably was for a little while there. Until I grew my balls back. I haven't heard anything about I don't know anything about that. Speaking of which, is there a new Ghostbusters film coming out in December? Any word on that? I haven't heard anything. I think, if anything, the writer's strike will probably affect. I haven't heard anything about that. I haven't even seen, like, I unfortunately watched 2016, and that was only on TV when it came. Like, it was, I don't know, 6 months ago. I watched 2016 Ghostbusters for the first time. That was an abomination of Ghostbusters. But I haven't watched that newer one that they came out with. Hang on a second. Daredevil, how you doing? I honestly have a hard time understanding how anyone could have liked The Force Awakens. It's standard wham and best ever. Yeah, it really is. And it's I didn't notice it at first. This is the thing. I have my beer goggles on. I'm sorry. But I got to be honest. Like, I could sit here and say, you know, I thought it was shit from the moment I saw it, but I didn't. And it's unfortunate because I kind of wish that I did. The legacy character's fucked. The writing is standard. The writing is standard current year trash. Absolutely. The reason why I read that was because I wanted to read this. Where is it? Especially you who didn't like The Mandalorian season 1 and 2, and they're overall fine. I don't think they're overall fine. I really don't. They've got issues in them that, again, are yet to be explained. I really feel like there's a lot of people that came around on that because of the Civil War rumor. Like, it wasn't Kathleen Kennedy, so this is good Star Wars. Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, you know, all of that sort of stuff. And I think they were hyped way higher than than they should have been. You know, we get an explanation of why Rey and Kylo Ren are able to do this force healing, and it's because they're a dyad. Not that anyone actually knows what a dyad is, but, you know, that makes it okay. But then when Grogu does it, it's like nobody asked that question. Nobody. Like, nobody. When you get tracking fobs, like I said, nobody wants to know what it's actually tracking, how these things actually work. And people want to use their head canon, which is a bullshit thing, made up. If anybody wants to say, oh, it's tracking a chip that they put in the arm. Like, okay, so Mando knows how they work. Why didn't he just pick the chip out of fucking Grogu's arm so they can't track him anymore? People want to say, oh, it's tracking DNA. Oh, how is it tracking DNA? How does DNA transmit a fucking signal for these fucking beep, beep, flicking light things to fucking track them? I think that The Mandalorian is bad. My opinion. And the crazy thing is that people, and this was the hard thing for me when season 1 of The Mandalorian came out. A lot of people that I thought that were on my side, I hate saying this, my side of the fandom, so to speak, that were actually wanted good, loyal Star Wars, believed the whole Civil War shit. And I copped a lot of shit from people that, you know, I were in good standing with, you could say, like talking to them about Star Wars and stuff like this. And it's crazy to think where we are now, and those people think that these things are actually bad now. Copped a lot of shit. The Luke Skywalker moment. It's at the end of season 2. Wow. A lot of people were bamboozled with that one. Ty, again for another 2, says the prequels were bad at first, now look savage. I didn't think that they were bad. I think that they were... This is the thing. The prequels, I think that there are a couple of issues and a couple of inconsistent things. But the one thing that the prequels don't do is that they don't destroy the universe. They don't destroy certain, like, very, very much don't destroy the story. The consistency of it, and it certainly does not destroy lore. You know, you could make an argument for R2-D2 flying. You could make an argument for Jar Jar Binks. But what did those things really do to the overall story? You could make an argument for the dialogue. The one scene that I can't watch, still to this day, thank you for the $2, Ty, I appreciate it. The one scene that I still can't watch is from Attack of the Clones, and it's the fireplace scene. I'm haunted by the kiss I should never have given you. Like, please, give me a bucket. No amount of bad sequels can make that scene any better for me. But it certainly was nowhere near as bad as what they did in the sequels. And it actually, yes, you're right, it actually made people appreciate the prequels a little bit more. You know why? Because they were still actual Star Wars. It still held true to the laws, to the universe, to the rules, to the characters. You know, Greg, he hates C-3PO and he hates Boba Brat. But I don't think Greg completely hates the prequels like he hates the fucking sequels. And I kind of agree with him. That scene with C-3PO when his head goes onto one of the battle droids and the body that gets a battle droid head on the body. Like, that is childish stuff. Unnecessary. Unnecessary. Christopher, something awakened in my pants during the fireplace. I will say what she's wearing. Damn. But yeah, no. Okay, too much information there. 100%. Good on you, Christopher. That's funny. Oh, man. Yeah, see, Greg likes the story through the prequels. Doesn't mean that we don't have criticisms of it. Disney Star Wars is so far trash and so far gone that it's actually not, it's got no, other than the name, it's got no real connection to what Star Wars actually is. One of the things that I hate about all the shows and all the movies and the things that we come out with, or the things that they've come out with, is how small the universe actually feels and how small the universe is. It's just main characters bumping into other main characters. And the difference for me in that is, like, an example is like Watto in The Phantom Menace. There's no character in Disney Star Wars that's like that. Oh, people want to make the argument in like Mando season 3 of, let's say, the Babu Frick character. I mean, that scene in itself was torture to watch. I'm sorry, I don't understand you. Do you speak Huttese? Fucking Grief Karga starts translating for him, and then he turns to him and goes, I got it. Like, I didn't understand what they were saying, so thank you for translating, but you don't need to translate because I can understand them. That fucking dialogue is stupid. It's so fucking stupid. Shoots all the other pirates except for the main guy so he can go off and get the other pirate fucking, what was it? Vegan the Hutt to come and fucking raid their planet. Like, it's stupid. It's stupid. Yeah, the Babysitter edition. It's babysitters in space. And trying to explain cloning. You know, there was apparently, you know, only Sith know how to clone based on the sequels. But now we got, you know, Moff Gideon cloning with Force. You know, I give all my clones the Force. What fucking gay shit. It's fucking shit. Andor was good. It was so adult. It was so adult. Is that the best argument that you've got for this garbage show? Honestly. Individual characters, fucking Easter eggs. Not even Easter eggs, just fucking shit in the background so that you can sit there and go, look at Star Wars. They took it from fucking Star Wars and they put it on the screen. Nobody thinks anymore. Nobody thinks anymore. And the example that I'll give for that is that in Luthen's store, for example, the tablets for the Mortis Arc stuff, right? The wolves came and showed those tablets to Ezra in Rebels. They teleported them in and teleported them out. And the reason why we know that that is the case is because Sabine took a copy of them so that when they went to the Mortis fucking temple or whatever it was, they were able to get in there to go to the world between worlds, right? And she uses the hologram to see the reference of the fists and the hands and the this and the that, right? But the wolves made them appear and made them disappear. So how did Luthen get them in his store? Did he go to Lothal? I think that's what it's called. And did the wolves like just go, here's the Mortis tablets, take them to your store? The amount of Force energy coming out of his store on Coruscant, and you don't think that the fucking Emperor and the Darth Vader wouldn't be raiding that fucking store with Sith and Jedi holocrons and Starkiller's armor? Give me a bucket. Nobody thinks anymore. Why didn't Mon Mothma why did she have to sell off her daughter to get her 400,000 credits to save her ass, right? When she was going to be audited by the fucking Empire's treasury or whatever it was. Why didn't she just go to fucking Bail Organa, one of the richest men in the galaxy? Her friend. Why is it Luthen that's creating the rebellion as opposed to Mon Mothma and Bail Organa? Nobody thinks anymore about what they know or it's just, this is so adult. We're starting the entire Andor series in a brothel. He's looking for his sister. In an episode's time, we're going to completely forget about that. But his mum told him to stop looking for his sister 4 episodes later. It's such a joke. It's such a joke. G'day, Stephen Salcedo. How you doing? Hey, I would love to have that conversation with them too. Honestly, I would. Because I know that Anna, that Star Wars girl, went on to, I don't think it was Mauler, I think it was Critical Drinkers stream. And there was somebody there that completely went off at Anna because she said that Andor was shit. And the person said that, oh, you've just got to have lightsabers. Like using that fucking argument. You just got to have lightsabers and Force users. That's what Star Wars is to you. Well, yeah, that's what Star Wars fucking is. It's about the Force. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what we need to be seeing all the time. No. You can have these offshoot stories that tell other stories, but they've got to be meaningful and they've got to make sense. And I didn't watch the stream. I just spoke to Anna about it and she was fucking pissed because it's like, you're using that fucking Disney seal argument. You just need lightsabers. What a fucking dumb cunt. It's the guy that's never on screen that sits there and he's got that posh old voice. In his image, he's sitting there with a glass of wine in his hand. I'm so smarty. Oh, his fucking name. I'd love to have a fucking conversation with him about this and ask him, okay, how does this make sense? How does this make sense? There is so much wrong with it that I could almost write a fucking book about what's wrong with Andor. But it's so grounded. It's so adult. What does that mean? What does that mean? And some of the people that I have had this argument with, that I've asked them, like, explain the 80 million credits to me. Explain how Val got the 80 million credits to Luthen without giving him the kyber crystal that he gave to Andor in payment at the beginning. Explain to me how we're apparently supposed to believe that Andor is the only one able to pilot the ship, but then when he bails out on them, she's still able to get the credits to Luthen. Why didn't Luthen give 400,000 of that 80 million credits to Mon Mothma to save her ass so she doesn't have to sell her fucking daughter? You know what they say? They don't have an answer. You know why they don't have an answer? Because Lucasfilm is that stupid that they don't know how to tell the story. It just cuts off and we forget about that. It's like the sister storyline. We just forget about that. He doesn't care anymore. And then I had somebody say, oh, but his mum told him to stop looking for his sister. She's probably dead or something like that. But he knows that she was working in that brothel because the lady that he spoke to said that she was. So she's not dead. And the mother told him that 4 episodes in. So after his sister, after he goes looking for his sister and he can't find her in the brothel, right? Luthen just happens to come along, snatch him away, say, I've got this mission for you. He doesn't happen to say, no, I'm looking for my sister. I don't care about this stuff. I just want to find my sister, right? No, he's like, okay, I will do what you want because the script tells me to do what you want. And then he doesn't do that. And then he goes back home and that's when his mum tells him to stop doing it. How long was he there for? They don't show time done well in Disney Star Wars either. Trying to make myself rage at the moment. I almost got Rhino to rage. Oh, that's funny. I would love to have a conversation with these guys that I know, like Andor is the only thing, and I know this, that the EFAB guys have actually liked, right? And I don't want to go there with the intent of making them unlike it. But I want those guys, because I know that once I say these things to them, they might actually be like, oh, I didn't even notice that, or I didn't even think about that, or whatever the case may be. I want to know why they do like it so much. Because I haven't been able to gauge that from their videos, from what they've talked about with it, other than the fact that it's grounded and it's adult. But I don't know what that means. It's Star Wars for adults. All Star Wars is for adults. It's made for children. It's a fucking fantasy fucking story. It's a sci-fi fantasy story that's made for everybody. Constantly, the comments that I get about crying about a kid's show and all of this kind of stuff. Okay, so you're clearly not a Star Wars fan. Go away. I got no interest in having a conversation with you about Star Wars, if that's what you truly do think. Oh, wow. God, I need to go to the toilet. I'm wondering whether or not I just go and fucking play you something. I am going to do that. And I'm going to top up my drink. What can I play you? I hate a lot of the clips that I've got. It's 33 seconds, so I might be a little bit longer than that. This was Greg's. Greg, I hope you're still in the chat. This was Greg's reaction to, I think it was a Book of Boba Fett episode. I'll be right back, guys. What'd you think? Laughing again. What was the funniest part for you?
The cybernetics building by far. Oh, God.
How bad was it? God, that didn't even feel like 33 seconds. Like way less than that. Yeah, that was funny. I actually really enjoyed watching those with Greg. Like I did it so that like I do my intro, I watch it, I feel my reactions and everything, do my outro and let you guys know my thoughts on the thing. And then I always bring Greg back in because he was watching it with me. Fucking great. How goes? Good, Micro. Good to see you. Thanks. All right. Where are the cats? Well, Charles, if you look, like he is sort of right there. I got the chairs upside down and he sits in the base of the chair and he's got a bit of sun shining on him. Eric, I don't know. He was there as well. But I don't know. They might come over a bit later. It's a bit too early for them to... Oh, no. I want to have a cigarette. Fucking after that rant that I had, I really need a smoke. Hold on. I got to get my lighter. It's over there. Hold on a second. I'm coming. I'm coming back. Oh, shit. All right. You full on got me. You got me raging. Got me raging. Hey, there's one. Hi, Eric. Hi. You want to say hi to the chat? He's coming and needs a smoke. Do not come. Skirmitar, how you doing, buddy? Speaking of Skirmitar, he bought me a game. And it's like I can't remember what it's called now, but it's like sort of a bit of a rip-off of Call of Duty Zombies. I'm going to see how I go because, like I said, I do need to go to the barber. I got to go and do some grocery shopping. But then when I get back, I'm going to see how much time I've got, and I might play a little bit of that, see how it goes, because he also wants me to test the game to see if he wants to get the game. And I really do miss playing zombies with the guys. Like, those streams were actually a lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right. Here we go. Let's go into this one because I did a video on this. So we'll just quickly touch on this. So another rumor claims Kathleen Kennedy is now gone from Lucasfilm. So this is from Banning Into Comics again. Good old John Trent over at Banning Into Comics. So this was on the 30th of June. Now, this rumor isn't from the rumor mill that we're used to. You know, the big ones like Take It With a Planet of Crate and that sort of thing. This is from some scooper out there. Thwept. I don't know. THWIPT on Twitter. I'm hearing Kathleen Kennedy is now gone from Lucasfilm. Okay. So this person was right on apparently a couple of scoops. I never actually heard these from this person. I never even actually heard about the Nicolas Cage appearance as Superman in the Flash film until I actually watched the movie. And again, I didn't pay for that one either. But he was right about that. He was apparently right about the Harry Potter TV series in development at HBO Max. And he was also right about the Andy Serkis appearance in Andor. You hate the clip? What, the one of you laughing about fucking Book of Boba Fett? Anyway, so I just want to touch on this because I did do a video. Maybe a lot of you guys have actually seen the video. I'm not believing any of this stuff anymore. I'm not even taking it with a grain of salt. It's just non-existent until I actually hear the actual announcement from Lucasfilm. You know, some statement comes out or something like that. Another week, another rumor. That's right. I just want to show a couple of things here. So then Josh, Den of Nerds, right? I saw this. When was this? Yesterday. He comes out with this. He says, I'm not confirming anything. Of course not. Nobody can confirm anything because it's all fucking rumor. But I did hear some good buzz yesterday. She might really be gone this time. Yeah, this time. This time. I honestly think this is like the 7th time we've had this rumor. And it's more or less like, as you can see on a t-shirt, if it bombs, she's gone. Well, it's already bombing. This is Indiana Jones. But the point that I would just want to make in regards to this is even if she does go, hey, look, I'll celebrate and I'll fucking, do a video and all of that sort of thing. But it ain't going to change anything. She's culminated Lucasfilm as her Lucasfilm now. The people that she's got there are like-minded like her. So I don't see anything changing. I mean, we had the rumor that fucking Jon Favreau was gone. Have we had any confirmation on that? Do we know that he's gone? No. As far as I'm concerned, he was writing season 3 and season 4 of The Mandalorian at the same time. So what, he's just going to go and then what, they change his script or they like what? This is why I hate listening to this. It just made some big news and made some big waves out there because, of course, everybody wishes that Kathleen Kennedy wasn't the president of Lucasfilm, even me. But this needed to happen like after The Last Jedi. This needed to happen. She should never have been put in place. It's George's fault. Definitely George's fault for putting her there. But you hear these things, like, where are you hearing this big buzz? Where are you hearing this good buzz from? Den of Shills? And I bet you he thinks that if Kathleen Kennedy goes and because he's a Dave Filoni dick sucker, right? That it's all fixed. It's all better. Disagree. Completely disagree. Fuck, my ashtray's full as fuck. Ow. Burnt my fucking finger. And then there's articles like this. Kathleen Kennedy says new film will move Star Wars past George Lucas's original vision. Haven't we already passed George Lucas's original vision? We're well past that now. This new film isn't going to break any ground in regards to passing George Lucas's original vision. We'll introduce new characters and start with something fresh. What? I'm sorry, but we're already there. We are already there. We're already past George Lucas's vision. And we've already introduced new characters starting with something fresh. You've already started with something fresh. Everything that you've done is something fresh, something removed from Star Wars and something removed away from George Lucas's original vision. And that just vindicates me in regards to Disney Star Wars isn't Star Wars. Doesn't it? If we're moving away from the creator's original vision, then what is it? And that's right. The environment in the Disney Corporation will never change. 100%. $100%. Feige is taking over. That's going to be no fucking better. Look at what they're doing with Marvel. What happened to the rumor that George Lucas is buying back Lucasfilm? Didn't we have a Doomcock rumor about that? Wasn't that one of his and Cameron Pasha? Where's the hashtag Doomcock was right on that one? It's such a joke. The rumor mill, when it comes to Lucasfilm, and I mean, I don't know about other things because I don't really pay attention to other things. It could be bullshit on a lot of the other things too. Because I know that like Doomcock doesn't just do the Star Wars and Lucasfilm stuff. I know he's done like Star Trek and other things as well. right? Yeah, Sparrow. Fucking, I love fucking Melvin's videos on those. Yes, it was Cameron Pasha, right? And Sparrow. What? Like, is that just gone now? Was that just clickbait? In my eyes, yes. That's exactly what it was. Click fucking bait. Crazy, huh? Crazy, crazy, crazy. So anyway, if you want, you can check out my video. I think, again, most of you that are here probably have already seen it. So if you have heard of Doomcock was right. Yeah, without respect, we accept. That's his slogan, right? Yeah, that's right. Hashtag that. Doomcock has never been right. Not when it comes to Star Wars stuff. Even the very first one about the rumors about like the leaks, they never came from him. He just reported on them, and then all of a sudden Doomcock was right. You know, his many sources corroborated the story. Great. Well done. Maybe I should just start doing that. Making up rumors and fucking, you know, saying I got sources. Multiple of them have contacted me to tell me that, yeah, I'm hearing this too on the grapevine. And take it with a grain of salt. And then when people start coming after me and going, you told me this, it's like, I told you to take it with a grain of salt. It's not real. Hashtag Rhino was right. Let's do the circular rumor. Cameron Pasha confirms that my rumor was correct. The source, my rumor. Fucking idiots. Moving right along. So, oh, shit. Let me put these in. Ty, for another $2. Thank you, dude. Should George Lucas have made the prequels first before OT? I like the way he did it. I like the way it was done. I don't think that it's necessarily necessary to do it. Like, the way that he did it was fine. And the proof is that, excuse me, the proof of that is how big Star Wars got. The way he did it was perfect. Now, if he had released the prequels first and then gone into the OT, still told the same story that he wanted to tell, I don't think it would have been any worse or any better. I don't really know. It's hard to say whether or not it would have been worse or better doing it the other way around. It's an interesting question. But like I can sit there now and I can watch from episode 1 all the way through to episode 6, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I can also go in and I can watch episodes 4 through to 6 and then go back and watch 1 through to 3. I don't know. Don't know. Thank you for the $2. Rhino burning them bridges like EVS. Also back Cyberfrog 3. I did back Cyberfrog 3. And I got the 24-hour variant cover. All right, let's go into this. So the Sentinel put this question out there, and we're going to watch the clip. But question for everyone. If George Lucas has moved on from Star Wars, why can't we do so? Why can't we do so too? Myself included. Let's just watch this 1-minute clip.
Rule of life, which is when you break up with somebody, the first rule is no phone calls. The second rule, you don't go over to their house and drive by to see what they're doing. Yes. The third one is you don't show up at their coffee shop or the things that you're going to run in. You just say, no, gone, history, I'm moving forward. Because every time you do, and you know, we all learn this from experience, every time you do something like that, you're opening the wound again. And it just makes it harder for you. You have to put it behind you. And it's a very, very, very hard thing to do. But you have to just cut it off and say, okay, end the ball game. I got to move on. And everything in your body says, don't, you can't. And these are my kids. So
all those Star Wars films.
All the Star Wars films.
They were your kids.
Yeah, well, they are right. You know, I loved them. I created them. I'm very intimately involved in them, and obviously to
and
sell
you
them
sold
off,
them.
I sold them to the white slavers.
So there's one really good thing that he actually does say in there. I think it's here.
And it just makes it harder for you. You have to put it behind you, and it's a very, very, very hard thing to do.
You got to put it behind you, and it's a very, very, very hard thing to do. I don't personally, and I know Sentinel's sometimes here. You might get to see it on the replay. I haven't seen him in the chat yet. But I don't think George Lucas has moved on quite the way that we don't hear him speak about it all that much or anything like that. Obviously, there was that school interview thing where he says, you know, the original 6 films were definitely mine. They were my philosophy. They were my films. But then they wanted to go off in a different direction. I don't think he has taken a lot of his own advice when it comes to what he's saying here. I think he does know what's going on with Star Wars. And I'm sure that he doesn't like it. I'm sure that he thinks, and then there's people that come out and say, look, he's on the set of The Mandalorian. Just because he's on the set and he got invited on the set and he decided to go doesn't mean that he's liking what they're doing. He has very explicitly come out and said that what Lucasfilm, what Disney is doing isn't his. And based on exactly what we mentioned here, where Kathleen Kennedy is saying that they're moving away from George Lucas's original vision of Star Wars, introducing new characters and starting with something fresh, right? It tells me that this isn't Star Wars. It's got the Star Wars name on it, and it uses the ideas within Star Wars, but when it really comes to the depths of what Star Wars lore actually is, it's not there. It's just not there. You know, we get to see lightsabers, we get to see force powers and things like that. Yeah. Those are all taken from Star Wars, but then they're put into something that is completely different than what George Lucas wanted. And for George to say that George has moved on, maybe he has. We don't know because he doesn't come out, like I said, and talk about it all that much. But for me, the hard thing for me in regards to moving on from it is I'm just not there yet. Like, I know that what we're getting from Disney Lucasfilm, Disney Star Wars, isn't Star Wars. I know that. And I go into these things and people go, why do you put yourself through the pain of watching them? It's one of those things where it's a bit hard to explain because it really is kind of stupid. Why do I sit there and watch these shows? I'd like to say that to some degree it is for you guys out there. And there is an element of that. Don't get me wrong. But for me personally, it is because I love Star Wars so much that I actually need to see what they're doing in regards to the destruction of George Lucas's Star Wars, and I want to talk about it. I want to tell you what these bad things are. Now, I'm not going into these things wanting them to be bad. I'm going into these things expecting them to be bad because the history that we've got with Disney Lucasfilm. There's nothing that they've given me to make me think that they are going to turn a corner and give me something good. Right? But at the end of the day, I need to know what they're doing with Star Wars. And I will do my videos and continue to tell you guys my thoughts on the destruction, the continued destruction of Star Wars. So it's hard. It is. And he says it in there. It's a very, very hard thing to do. You know, and I'm glad that he identifies that himself included, because he, you know, Sentinel, you even find it hard to move away from it, to break up from it. So it's interesting. I would love to be a fly on the wall at George Lucas's house, you know, in his office, like seeing him talk to either his wife about what they're doing, what they've done to Star Wars, what they've done to his legacy, what they've done to Lucasfilm in general, like even with the Indiana Jones movie. Do you really think that this guy that created these things, Indiana Jones and Star Wars and stuff like that, do you really think he's not paying attention? Do you really think he's taking his own advice and he's not driving past? I'm sure he's seeing a lot of the discourse that's going on out there. Even if he's not watching the shows or the movies, right? He's got to be seeing the discourse out there. You would think. I'm curious, why do you guys... Why? Like, I know that there are people out there that have left Lucasfilm, that have left Star Wars, and they're just not going back. They don't watch the things. I've had people in my comments saying, I only watch Star Wars through your eyes, basically. I watch them through your reviews. And hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that people value my opinion in regards to what I'm watching and what I'm seeing. And to an element there is that's what sometimes makes it a little bit worth it for me. I'm happy that these people get a chance to see what's actually being done through my eyes. And it is just my opinion. I'm not trying to change anybody's minds or anything like that. But I'm curious, why do you guys find it so hard to move away from things like Star Wars if you haven't yet moved away from it? Why do you find it so hard to break up with these things that you loved throughout your childhood or throughout your teens, throughout your young adult lives, that they continue to reboot or, you know, do a sequel or anything? Why do you find it hard to move away from it? Snake says, last thing I saw was episode 3. Aside from coverage from people like you and EFAP, etc. Thank you. You know why I appreciate that so much? Because it's like I said, that means that to some degree, All Snakes values my opinion on these things. Thinks that maybe I see it a little bit differently, or I see it the way that sort of he sees it. I'm he or she. I'm thinking it's a he, but yeah. That's a great point. Jesus died. Can we just move on from the Bible? Interesting. George is stalking Star Wars. Oh, that just jumped on me. Micro says 3 indie movies, 1 Matrix movie, etc. Kind of like comics. Hold the good runs close. Ones close. I think that's supposed to be. Throw the bad runs in the bin. Yeah, okay, so it is runs. Sorry. Yep. I don't know what everybody sees. I'm just here to pick up on chicks. I just watched the original trilogy and I'm fine. That's the thing. Like some people are different. Some people can it took me a while. I will say that after the sequel trilogy that we got, it took me a while to go back and be able to sort of sit there and rewatch the OT, the prequels, and not feel like it was connected. It took me a while. Longer than I had my longest, you could say, original Star Wars dry spell in that period, because I didn't want to go back and watch it with this hatred and this thought process that I had for the sequel trilogy when I watched it again. And don't get me wrong, there are certain elements of it where I'm sitting there going, yeah, well, that means nothing anymore based on what Disney's done. Ty again for $5, dude, sponsoring the stream today. Thank you. I don't understand the First Order and Kylo stuff. Also, the Rose Tico and Finn relationship looked weird. I don't get the whole Smoke stuff. I think that's supposed to be Snoke stuff. A lot of people don't get it, Ty. A lot of people didn't understand a lot of that stuff. And I'm with you 100%. I don't understand it either. And there's still people out there that love that shit to this day. We've got a seal of the week this week that's very much on board with all of the stuff that you pretty much mentioned. And the other thing too, it's funny that you mentioned like the relationships and stuff, like the relationship between Rose Tico and Finn. Star Wars has now become like a shipping franchise. It's just about who the fans want to fuck who. You know? I'm going to play you the clip. Play it for you.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt! Thank you, Di. Okay, I'm here. You can restart the show now. No worries. Only joking. G'day, Grant. How you doing? Another great member of the channel. You guys are awesome. All right. Let's see. Oh, God, my back's sore. Fucking last Saturday, I woke up, my back was fucked. Like, I don't know why. I must have fucking been in combat or something in my sleep, and I pulled my back out so bad. And the usual chiropractor that I go to, this is a little off story. The usual chiropractor that I go to, he was away for a week, which I was shattered about because my back was pretty much shattered. And so he referred me to this other guy, and I went and saw him. I was there for 15 minutes. He charged me $110. He did a little bit of acupuncture and did like one tiny little crack, and it did nothing. It actually made it worse. And then my original chiropractor He's fucking awesome. I went and saw him last night and he put everything back. It was actually really good, but obviously because of how fucked it was and how much manipulation he had to do, it's still a bit sore. So yeah, 110. This is what I'm saying. Like for this guy that I went to, the guy you referred me to, the first appointment's 110 and then the next times you go is only 60. So stupid. And then I go, my original guy, I'm with him for like an hour and he gave me dinner afterwards, believe it or not. But because he just does it out of his house. But yeah, he charges me $50 every time and I'm there for like at least an hour every time. Okay, this is a decent question. Ty, for another $2, says, what's the future of Star Wars look like for you? You're not going to like the answer. It's an unfortunate thing, but the future of there's no Star Wars. That's what the future of Star Wars is. It's now it's an offshoot of something else. It's a parody of itself. And I don't think the firing of Kathleen Kennedy would change anything. I don't think even if they sold it would change anything. I mean, look, if George Lucas bought it back, I think that would change something. I actually would hope that if George Lucas bought it back, he would do exactly what Disney did to him and decanonize all of their stuff and reinstate all of his stuff as canon. You know, the thing that I hate about the whole decanonization of the EU and stuff like that is the people that come out and say, oh, but the EU was never canon. Well, look, the immediate question that completely debunks that is, how can you decanonize something that was never canon? You know, so like the EU was canon. It continued the movie. It was the expanded universe. It expanded the universe. It expanded the story. Now, whether or not George Lucas was going to pick things from that and adapt those things into his stories moving forward, I kind of, you know, would like to believe that he would. Obviously, I know Lethal gives me shit, and I know Mozza gives me shit about how, you know, George was his sequels were going to involve Maul and Darth Talon or something as well. I don't know whether or not he was like, yeah, he did an interview and he said those things, but who knows what he would have done? Who knows what the treatments actually said or what they actually did? He did also come out in an interview and say the story is about the children and the parents and the grandchildren and the, you know, it's a family story in this universe. That's what Star Wars, or his Star Wars, was to him. And obviously there were other elements to it than just that. But I would hope that he would take things and, I mean, he wouldn't decanonize the entire EU. Everything that made him or made Star Wars what it was to the point where it actually got decanonized, I don't think they would. So Star Wars moving forward, or Star Wars' future is, it's clouded. It's clouded. There is no future Star Wars. It's disappointing. I'm disappointed by it. I'm shattered that this is where we're at with Star Wars. You know. What do you think, Ty? What do you think the future of Star Wars looks like? Oh, and Ty again for another $2. Do you like the Lego Star Wars games and others? I do. I haven't played too many of them. I'm not a Lego game, like the Lego games. I haven't played that many of them, to be honest with you. I've dabbled in them here and there, and they're fine. Excuse me. And they're fine. Unfortunately, as I know Dan Blackroyd would like to say, I'm a bit of a shill when it comes to the games because I bought Jedi Survivor and I also bought Jedi Fallen Order. I did like the gameplay of those. Like I like the element of running around and using a lightsaber and chopping shit up and using the Force and that. Like that's, you know, what Star Wars essentially is. I didn't like the story in either of those two games. They were horrible. I must admit, I'm ashamed to say, and I should probably play it. I never played KOTOR. I've seen all the clips from it. I've watched other people play it. I like watching the game and I like the game. So I should probably actually, you know, play it myself. But yeah, I'm not a massive Lego game player, to be honest with you. Where did I get the robe? Or those robes? Just on eBay, man. I did have a Sith one, which, like, this one is obviously the Jedi one. I did get a black one, which is the Sith one. I don't know where it is, though. I think I lost it. Either that or... Actually, it might be... I think I might know where it is, but I just haven't worn it for a long time. Might be in the other room. But yeah, just eBay, man. But I got rubbed down in dinner. That's not gay at all. That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I keep hearing that, Soul Assassin. KOTOR 1 and 2 are dope. I know. And again, like, I've watched a lot of gameplay. I know a lot of the story, but I never played the actual game, and it's probably something I should do. Ty, for another $2, says, I watched Kenobi last year. Don't know if they do too. I don't think so. Because you got to remember, Kenobi, like, a lot of people came back for Kenobi because it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? There was obviously the talk of the rematch of the century and all of that kind of thing. But doing a season 2, I mean, fuck, what would the story be? They've already fucking done so much damage with the Obi-Wan Kenobi season 1, with his now relationship with Leia, him meeting Luke, even Qui-Gon showing up at the end. Where did Reva disappear to, by the way? And the fact that Reva was stabbed twice and, you know, didn't die. There's a lot of problems with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and I don't think that, like, based on the criticism that they did cop for that, I don't think that they'd be doing a season 2. But, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if they did either. Once again, it's kind of that whole thing that they're so tone deaf over there at Lucasfilm. Kathleen Kennedy is so tone deaf. And she'll just think that, oh, using the name Obi-Wan Kenobi will get audiences back. Like, you know, they'll watch it. They'll watch a season 2. I don't know. Because you got to remember, after Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Book of Boba Fett, apparently Andor is the best thing since sliced bread when it comes to Star Wars, and nobody watched it. A lot of people, like, they keep losing audiences. More and more as we get more and more into Disney Star Wars, they keep losing more and more audiences. So I don't think they're doing a season 2. But because of how tone deaf they are, it wouldn't surprise me if they did. All right, let's do some rapid fire, just some news stuff. Get through some of these topics. So the first one is Rick. I can never pronounce the last name, but this is the guy that's worked on Mando, that new producer. The black guy, you know, the diversity hire. Confirms that the title of the series, The Mandalorian, in season 3, refers to Din Djarin and Bo-Katan Kryze. So this was like, I'm not going to again go into the article. I just wanted to pop this up really quickly. They did a behind the scenes series and stuff, and obviously you got producers talking, telling, like, you know, it's almost like having a director's cut where they're talking over the top to explain certain things and everything. But so they did this just behind the scenes, and you get different facts and everything, and you learn more about what they did. And this was just one of the things that came up. And it's interesting, you know, because a lot of people were saying that this definitely didn't feel like Din Djarin's show anymore. It felt like it was all about Bo-Katan, and it really was. And it makes me wonder whether or not Pedro Pascal is still, like, really a part of it. Take it with a grain of salt. We know we got the evidence and him explaining that he does just record the lines. He's no longer in the suit. Whether or not he was even in the suit to begin with, who knows, right? But yeah, he came out and actually said that he's just recording lines. So that's all that is. So again, the main actor, that's not even him. The main actor and the main person that they got on board for this flagship show for Disney Plus is no longer really a part of it. They definitely transitioned this season 2 into Bo-Katan's story, and it wouldn't surprise me if, especially with the way that they ended season 2 with the yibbity, that's all, folks. And Din Djarin just sitting on his lounge outside, you know, while Grogu's playing with frogs. If we barely even see him in season 4, would not surprise me in the slightest. So, yeah, a bit more evidence to show that they really have no idea where they're supposed to be going or what they're doing with their characters. I really feel like with the way that they ended season 3 as well, they're really just shelving Din Djarin for the moment. They don't really have a story for him. They don't really know what to do with him. And whether or not that's got something to do with the fact that Pedro Pascal actually isn't there and he is just recording lines, who knows? Who knows? Kathleen Kennedy has revealed that James Mangold's Star Wars film will connect to Rey's new Jedi Order movie. Interesting that, isn't it? Because from my understanding and what we got told, the James Mangold movie is supposed to be taking place at the dawn of, like, the Jedi, when the Jedi were first created, thousands of years in the past. And then we're jumping forward to Rey's story, and apparently there's going to be some connection there. Interesting, isn't it? It must have something to do with the fact that Rey is all the Jedi. It has to have something to do with that, doesn't it? Because how do you connect a story that they're supposed to be telling thousands of years in the past to what we get now in the future or in present day, so to speak? You know, the thing is with Star Wars, and it's really funny that I was actually talking earlier about how small they've made the world or how small they've made the universe of Star Wars. Because when you talk about like Revan and Vitiate and stuff like that, right, it's very different and very separate from what we see in, let's say, current day Star Wars, like with Yoda and the temple and the Jedi being, you know, guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy for over 1,000 years with no Sith and all of that kind of thing. It's very different and very separate, you know, two different eras in time. But this is the thing that that we see with Lucasfilm now, is that they can't get away from this era of Star Wars. They can't remove themselves. They can't go in the past and they can't go into the future. although they're trying to go into the future with the Rey movie 15 years into the future with that one. And of course, with the James Mangold thing, apparently they're going thousands of years into the past to the first original Jedi. But they've still got to apparently connect these things together. You don't... That's where original Star Wars, I reckon, was completely different. There was no major connection between Revan's story and the stories that we get in present day Star Wars of the universe. There was obvious connections between Darth Bane and present day, like with Palpatine and the Rule of Two. But again, that's all stuff that Lucasfilm has changed as well, with the Rule of Two no longer being one master and one apprentice, one to embody the power, one to crave it. It's no longer that. It's no longer that. It's two Sith to rule the rest of them. Exactly what Darth Bane destroyed, you could say. Everyone being equal. Well, not necessarily equal. Everybody below them is equal, but it's these two Sith to rule the rest. That's what they've changed the Rule of Two into. And this sort of answers your question from earlier as well, Ty, in regards to what you said about Star Wars moving forward. This is Star Wars moving forward. This is the future of Star Wars. We're going to tell a story thousands of years in the past, but we're going to make it connect to Rey's story of the new Jedi Order, ripping off another title from the EU. Look, we're giving you the EU. All you EU fans, we're giving you what you want. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're bastardizing. You're creating these abominations of what we want. That's all it is. That's all it is. And again, Kathleen Kennedy's being fired, really? And she's coming out and revealing that James Mangold's Star Wars film will connect to Rey's new Jedi Order movie? Okay. I wonder what happens after she goes. Does that get rebooted and the new president that comes in, her successor, changes all of this stuff? Does her successor come in and cancel Leslie Headland's acolytes? Any of that stuff? The acolyte is supposed to be connected to the High Republic. I reckon 3 new Star Wars fans actually like, because they don't really know what Star Wars is. And, you know, we better make sure that we put down that patriarchy in that show. That's what Star Wars is moving forward. But again, this just blew my mind when I'm thinking to myself, hang on, we got announced that James Mangold's making this story of the first Jedi, right? And that's got to be thousands of years in the past, thousands upon thousands of years in the past. And then they want to make it connect to Rey's new Jedi Order. Gee, do you reckon they can try and heighten Rey Skywalker any higher than they already have? She's going to be some sort of Jedi god. Not that they haven't done that already with I am all the Jedi. Ha ha ha. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. We got another one here. Again, from Star Wars Holocron. I don't know where he gets all these fucking things from. Obviously, there's an article here. Again, we're not going to fucking click on that. I just want the headline. Star Wars Eclipse, a new video game set during the High Republic era, is set to release in 2026. We've already got this Jedi Survivor. They're trying to raise up this High Republic so much. They're trying to make it so relevant and so important to people that just don't give a fuck. Because when you got things like a guy, you know, using his lightsaber in a tree and then the lightsaber stops in the tree, you can blatantly see, they came out and admitted that that was wrong, right? But you can blatantly see that these people don't get it, right? I'm certainly, no matter what you guys think, Dan Blackroyd, about me buying Jedi Survivor and all that sort of thing, there's no way in hell I'm buying this game. No way. No way whatsoever. I'm not doing it. And I don't think I'm going to buy any more games moving forward either, because of what the only thing that I liked with Jedi Survivor, again, was that gameplay, using lightsabers and using the Force. The story was garbage. And they're coming out with that new, what is it? The live action, the open world game that they're coming out with as well. I'm not getting that. Not getting that with the female Han Solo. So again, they're working on another game, Star Wars Eclipse. I thought we had this announced ages ago. Ages ago. Wasn't this supposed to be released already? Wasn't this supposed to be released already? So they're coming out with a game set in the era of the High Republic. Awesome. No one gives a fuck. No one cares about the High Republic, and it's who knows. I'd like to think that this game would just lose money. I would like to think that there are more people continually tapping out of Disney Star Wars, Disney Lucasfilm, because it is literally an abomination of original good Star Wars. What else we got here on the news list? I got to get my clip ready for this one. Hold on. I think we might play 2 clips for this one. Naboo set to appear in Andor Season 2, filming at a location used in Star Wars The Phantom Menace.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt! Nostalgia bait. This is what Andor was in Season 1. There was a lot of that, especially in the background. And, the guy that made Andor, he was never a fan of Star Wars. And he also came out and said that he didn't want to put aliens and droids and stuff at the forefront of the show, even though those aliens and droids are supposed to be a part of the universe. He just wanted them to be background things, just things flashing in the background for you to sit there and literally clap your... Do that as much as you can. As long as we've got the audience doing that, we're good. We're good. So good for them. They're filming on a location that they did Naboo in. Great. Let's see Grizzy's video when that episode comes out and see how many people blow a load over being at feed on Naboo. You wait, it'll be there, because that's all that matters now. As long as we get the seals clapping, as long as we've got the nostalgia bait in the background, that's all that matters. Fuck the story, fuck the lore, fuck the rules, fuck the universe. As long as these things are there, that's what's important. Good. Good. All right, a couple more quick things, and then we'll get into Seal of the Week, and we'll wrap this stream up. Got to go to the barbershop. Oh, I saw this. Star Wars Facts says the original script for The Rise of Palpatine, Kylo Ren says, "You're a clone," to Palpatine. Palpatine responds with, "More than a clone, less than a man." Now, I don't know where this has come from. I don't know where this Star Wars Facts Twitter page is getting these quotes from. Because we don't even get to know what George Lucas's treatment was. So what they were originally putting, and I know that obviously we all know that The Rise of Skywalker or The Rise of Palpatine was such a choppy script and was all over the place, and they really had no plan, and they just needed to wrap up this trilogy somehow and just somehow make Palpatine return. But honestly, I mean, the movie that we got and the lines that we got from that were fucking shit anyway. The explanation for why Palpatine is able to return is the whole fucking thing of him, the dark side is the pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. That's not an answer, Lucasfilm. That's not storytelling, Lucasfilm. But if they even had had this in there as the possibility that this was going to be a line. You're a clone, more than a clone, less than a man. All right, like, oh, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. That's just, it's too funny. It's too funny. I mean, if this was the writing that they came up with, thank God there's a writer's strike. True. I've exposed twice before. All right, these two last ones sort of go together. So I better put in my headphones for this one. So Rosario explains how the head tails were updated for Ahsoka. Now, if you remember, when we first got Ahsoka live action and Rosario played her for the first time, there was a lot of talk about the head tails and the Montrolls and stuff like that. And how as these characters get older, they get longer and longer and longer and longer, and they keep growing, a bit like hair that they can't cut, right? Now, there was a lot of talk about how bad they looked. They looked very rubbery, and there were these creases in them and stuff like that, and it looked really bad. And it did. It looked really bad. However, now they're going to be a little bit longer. Apparently, they've done a little bit better. I don't really know because, again, if you look at the animated version of Ahsoka when she's basically an adult, and you look at this image here, and you watch the trailer of the Ahsoka series, they are still longer and much different in the animated show or in Rebels than they are in this live action. So let's have a listen to what she has to say.
We got the head tails were completely changed. We 3D printed them, so like I could literally hear it like bones in my ears with the skin on it, and and it was like screwed into my head with this cap. I mean, it was just kind of wild. And
I just want to go back to that image there. Like that to me still doesn't look real. Like that doesn't look like. I mean, I think the prequels did it better. When you see, I'm blanking on her name, and I'm not going to remember it. Anyway, you see things like this in the prequels. It looks 10 times better. I find it really hard to believe how Lucasfilm has really and even with the volume, the shots and the images and the CGI and stuff, it just looks shit. Everything about Star Wars now just looks shit in comparison to stuff that was made 20 years ago.
and yeah, I think the
Thank you, Shuck T. Fucking, why did I blank on that?
level of detail in this is unlike anything. To be able to
Hey, that doesn't look too bad. And the way they moved there didn't look too bad. Let's watch that again. Just that bottom image.
unlike anything, to be able to see it on the big screen here.
That looked better.
I really hope people have good systems and aren't just watching it on their like little phones, because on the day it had such a high level of detail that to imagine it, now with, as Dave says, millions of dollars later and lots of special effects, it really takes it to a whole other height. We got.
So they didn't want to invest the money back when they first bought her out and did live action. Now that Dave, like Dave says, now we've got millions of dollars that we can throw at making your head tails properly. Just goes to show how much effort they actually really want to put into these things. Oops, I was supposed to just go straight into this. And then you've got this. Star Wars Ahsoka Shin actress Ivana something has deleted her Instagram account. I wonder, like this will be the story. Mark my words, this will be the story. Ahsoka will get some bad criticism, and it will revolve around some of these actors and some of their scenes and stuff like this. And then the reports will come out that she was bullied off Instagram, bullied off her social media by racist, toxic Star Wars fans. Now, remember this, guys, because if you do happen to see that come out, remember that she deleted it before the show even aired. It's impossible for that to be the case. Why did she delete it? Nobody really knows. And do we care? No, I don't care. But I know where this is going. I know where this will go. Because I know that there's going to be some criticism behind these characters. I mean, these two characters, I believe, are supposed to be Jedi survivors of Order 66. The bullshit amount of Jedi survivors that survive Order 66, completely diminishing how effective that was, the purge was. Palpatine's failure at the end of the day. Don't worry, it'll come. It will come. The toxic fan base, the this, the that, it's gonna come. Bullied her off her social media. She cancelled her, deleted her Instagram account. Let's see it. Let's see when it actually comes out and when it actually happens. When is Ahsoka supposed to drop? August 23. That's so funny. I did a video like a month ago, roughly, and I got my fucking month. I completely skipped out July for some reason. And I said, oh, we're only a month away from Ahsoka coming out. No, we're now still 2 months away, roughly, because it's the end of August, really. Yes, they will come. Correct. Correct. So August 23, we get Ahsoka. All right. All right. Now, I've got 3 really good ones for Seal of the Week, and then I've got these 2, and I need you guys' help. So which one gets a nomination? This isn't for Seal of the Week yet. Which one gets a nomination? So we've got Star Wars Holocron saying Latina and Latino representation in Star Wars. Yeah. And we've got Marshal Commander Cody with, despite how you feel about the Book of Boba Fett, this is a damn good shot. Which one gets the nominee? 1 or 2? 1 or 2? 1 or 2? Numbers in the chat, please, guys. Who gets the nomination? Latinx, please and thank you. Is All Snake's the only one here? Come on, guys. Help a brother out. We're nearly at the end of the stream. 1. Number 1. All right, looks like number 1. So we'll get rid of number 2. Done. Thank you, guys. All right. Oh, wrong button. Oh, hang on. There it is. Sherry, how you doing? All right.
I'm all the Jedi.
All right, so for this week's Seal of the Week, like I said, we've got some really good nominees for this week. So coming in first place, what am I saying? Nominee number 1 is, let's see some Rey Skywalker love for Star Wars positivity. Tell me your favorite thing about Rey. I love her optimism and her willingness to see the good in Ben to help him push him back into the light. Wow. I was going to say, I thought there was going to be pronouns there. I really did think there was going to be pronouns there. Sawyer, I think that's how you'd say that. Thank you for your nomination. I think that that's pretty bad because her optimism and her willingness to see the good in Ben. What? What are we talking about here? Rey, the Mary Sue of all Star Wars characters, the bestest ever. Interesting. So that is nominee number 1. Nominee number 2 is from Hunter Boobs. Says, it's been a year since the Kenobi finale, and I feel like the storyline of a Jedi youngling who escapes the purge, doesn't get stabbed and survives, but escapes the purge, and was so consumed by her pain that she spent her entire adult life as an inquisitor solely to get revenge against Anakin is still criminally underrated. No, I think it's criminally overrated with people like you. She got stabbed as a youngling, and she was consumed by her pain, the pain of her friends dying, that she decided to work for the person that did it so that she could find a way to get revenge over the guy who did it. That storyline is so contradictory and it makes no sense whatsoever. It is actually laughable to think that this character of Reva actually has a story arc. And then she also gets stabbed at the end by Vader again when the Inquisitor comes over and stands over her, and she survives that too. She actually survives that stabbing, traveling across the galaxy back to Tatooine, chases down Luke Skywalker, and still survives. It's absolutely ridiculous. So that is from Hunter Boobs. Thank you for your nomination. Number 3 is from Jacob. Every single one of these duels is better than every lightsaber fight in the prequels, in my opinion. I love how the duels feel like they actually have weight physically, emotionally, and thematically. I don't know what that really means there. They never look insanely choreographed. Yes, they do. They look that insanely choreographed that there's actually problems with them. So you've got the lightsaber fight in The Force Awakens. You've got the lightsaber fight in The Last Jedi, the one where the disappearing fucking thing is, and Kylo Ren's constantly hitting the ground, and Rey's constantly going, ah! You've got the lightsaber fight between Skype call Luke Skywalker and Kylo. And then you've got the one on the fucking remains of the Death Star where they fucking force heal each other and use the force to stop the blade, you know, that shit. Every single one of those is insanely choreographed and looks insanely choreographed. And to think that each one of these is better than every lightsaber fight in the prequels. So we're talking about Duel of the Fates. Honestly, Duel of the Fates. We're talking about Dooku versus a younger Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Yoda. And we're talking the duel on Mustafar and the duel, even the duel between fucking Dooku and Anakin and Obi-Wan on when they steal Palpatine. Like, every single one of those fights is 10 times better than every single one of these. And Jacob, is a pronoun fucktard with his he, him, 25 years old. I'm a 25-year-old fucking idiot. He, him, fucking loser. And then the last one, which is probably going to lose, actually, the one that you guys picked out of those two that we had, is Star Wars Holocron with Latina and Latino representation in Star Wars. Solid. Hearts. Yes. They're your 4 nominations for this week, guys. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. They're pretty solid, man. They could all be winners. They could all be winners. Let me put the poll in the chat. Seal of the week. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, guys, get your votes in. So we got a Ray lover and a Raylo lover as number 1. You've got a Reva lover as number 2. You've got an entire sequel lover and thinking that the jewels in the sequels are better than any of the jewels in fucking the prequels. That one blows my mind. To me, that's the winner. To me, I'd pick that one personally. And the last one is Star Wars Holocron with the Latino and Latina representation in Star Wars. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. To me, the winner is number 3. Let's see. I wasn't actually, normally we watch something, but I've got nothing. Let me just minimize that. Let me see. Let's have a look at the Star Wars YouTube channel really quickly. Wow, it's everything on the Star Wars YouTube channel is all Indiana Jones stuff. All right, this one only goes for 3.5 minutes. Let's watch this one. God, I do hate this chick, though.
Oh, her goodness. Uh-oh. Last week, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny premiered in Hollywood, California. And we were there to give you an up-close look at the star-studded event. Longtime fans, new stars, and some of the legendary creators and actors involved in the franchise from the beginning were there to see Indy off on his last crusade. To watch the full recap of what they had to say about this momentous occasion, head on over to Lucasfilm YouTube and social channels. The red carpet wasn't the only place celebrating Indiana Jones this week. At the Disneyland Resort...
No, there was nothing that was celebrating Indiana Jones this week.
You can find new touches of magic that enhance the Indiana Jones Adventure attraction, new film and attraction-based merchandise, and you'll soon be able to make like Marion Ravenwood and meet Indy in the park with a new walk-around character. At Walt Disney World Resort, a Dial of Destiny limited time experience and adventure outpost called the Den of Destiny is now open at Disney's Hollywood Studios, where adventurers can sip on exclusive libations like the Weathered Fedora, sneak into a photo op, and hunt down art and props from the film, as well as new merch at parks locations and on shopdisney.com. But what's way more fun than just listening to me talk about Indiana Jones? Listening as I talk with the cast and crew in the next installment of our interview series.
Harrison, how has your relationship to the character changed over 40 years of playing Indiana Jones?
I think I'd have to say not much.
I was about to say, didn't we watch this? But this is obviously a different part.
The character is a reflection of the story.
Oh, my favorite Indiana Jones film is... My favorite one is definitely Last Crusade. For me, it goes Last Crusade, Why am I blanking? Fucking. What's the one I'm missing? Fucking why? Last Crusade. Fucking. Oh my god. Last is Temple of Doom. What's in the middle? Which one am I missing? They're all really good though. I really like them all, but no, not Temple of Doom. Raiders. Fucking hell. Thank you, guys. I'm so retarded right now. I'm getting tired and I'm getting hungry and I need to go to the barber. Fuck yeah. So it goes Last Crusade, Raiders, and then Temple of Doom for me.
And the story is of someone who is not Harrison Ford, but it's Indiana Jones, and participating in representing the relationships that he has with his father, with his wife, with the young sidekicks that populate these films.
I'm curious as newcomer.
The problem is everything that he just said there about like what makes Indiana Jones like Indiana Jones sort of thing doesn't exist in this movie. Really doesn't.
To the franchise, what Indiana Jones has meant to you.
For me and a lot of people in my generation, especially a lot of my friends who are directors, that's what started everything. They watched that film. I was just watching it and loving it and wanted to be up there doing the things they were doing. And well, now I got to do it.
I used to watch these movies so many times with my family. I used to watch them almost every weekend with my mother and my dad. Like, who didn't watch them and who didn't love them? Who doesn't love Indiana Jones?
Yeah, I think about
that kids watched them once.
I just wanted to be that kid and just really giving the sense of adventure that you can have these adventures too. And I think that's, as cliche as it sounds, the magic of cinema.
The cast and crew of Indiana Jones, of Raiders, were my heroes. So of course I was there on opening day, because you're talking about George Lucas.
The other thing too that I also want to say is like James Mangold, the guy that made this Indiana Jones movie, is going to be doing a Star Wars movie? Whoa.
Steven Spielberg, you're talking about Harrison Ford, John Williams. These were my North Star.
It's cool to actually collide generationally. You look at the beginning of the movie that takes place in the 40s and you jump to the 60s, and feels pretty appropriate to say that this is such a timeless franchise and a timeless piece, and it was wonderful to be representative of that.
Representative.
That's it for this week.
That's it. We're not even going to listen to her outro. I can't. Ah, brain hurts. Sorry, guys. That kid was so full of shit. Is that your order? Raiders, Temple, and Last Crusade. Interesting. I love Last Crusade. I just love that movie. I love the dynamic between him and his dad. I love Sean Connery. There's so many great funny moments in it as well. There's good funny moments in all of them. But Last Crusade was almost sort of that movie for me where it was like I just wanted to sit there and watch it again and again. A bit like what that kid said, but I'm not lying. But again, this is the thing with the only 3 Indiana Jones movie that exist in my eyes. They're all really good. They are all really good. The Temple of Doom, I think, is the most, like, it hits on morals more than some of the other ones. You know, saving the kids and that sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah, James Bond, Indiana Jones, Indy together. Yep. Sorry, I just want to finish this cigarette before we go back into Seal of the Week, because I obviously clip out Seal of the Week for a separate video. I don't want to be sitting in there fucking smoking a ciggy. Yeah, ciggy. And I thought that video was going to go a little bit longer, but it didn't, because we didn't let it. Let me just check my Streamlabs, actually. And thank you again, Arboru, for the $25 earlier. I appreciate that, the support. Thank you, everyone in the chat. You guys are awesome. Thank you to the members for your continuous support. Let me do a little bit of plugging, a little bit of shilling while we're sort of got a little lull here. So if you don't know, I think a lot of you would, but if you don't know, Lethal Lightning and I, and of course Lyndon back in the day, we did the Full Aussie. We were doing this stream, the Full Aussie, and it was all over on Lethal's channel. And then we decided to create the Full Aussie channel. And we've been doing a lot of streams actually over there. We do midweek Happy Hump Day. So every Wednesday evening here in Australia, or Wednesday morning for you guys in the States, we do a Happy Hump Day stream, very different to all the other streams. Some of them can be really choppy and really bad. Some of them can be good, but we try and have a good laugh, and we don't really take anything too seriously. We watch a few videos. We might go through a couple of articles and stuff like that. Nothing really too related to pop culture or anything. And we just try and have a really good time on that. Now, that stream does usually only go for about an hour and a half. That's every Wednesday. Of course, Happy Hump Day. And they've been really fun to do. Every second week, or every second week, we do the official Full Aussie show, which dual streams on Lethal's channel and on the Full Aussie channel. And then every other week, we do the Back of the Ute stream, which is like a Full Aussie mini that we only do on the Full Aussie channel. Now, once the Full Aussie channel does become monetized, we're going to stop dual streaming the actual official Full Aussie show on Lethal's channel, and we're going to just be doing it on the Full Aussie channel. So we're going to sort of transition that over into just doing it on the Full Aussie channel. There's a lot of clips that come out, a lot of shorts that are coming out that are actually, some of them are doing well. And the subs have started to really, move. We're still only at 650-ish, something like that at the moment. So we do still need to get it to that 1,000. I know that YouTube changed, and this is, I think, only for the Americans, that you only have to get 500 subs to become monetized. We've got the hours that we need. We've got the 4,000 hours. It's now just a matter of getting that 1,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed to the Full Aussie channel, let me actually grab the link to it. If you're not subscribed to the Full Aussie channel, please go over and give us a sub over there. Here it is. There's the link to the channel. Again, just in case. So yeah, we're at 638. And there's 500 videos over there. And again, a lot of them are clipped out. Some of them are from older streams. Some of them are from the newer streams. There's a lot of shorts there too, which are a lot of fun. A lot of the Happy Hump Day videos and stuff that we get to watch are from, they get clipped out for the shorts, because there's some good ones in there that we can just, Did that drop? Oh, there it is. Good, it did drop. Yeah, so please go over and give us a sub over there. We really, really want to try and get that channel going. Obviously, we've got the people that are a part of that. We've got Ryan Reaper and, of course, Skirmitar doing a lot of work in the back end of all of that. And, of course, Skirmitar with his intros, and Ryan does a lot of the clipping of the videos, getting the videos all together. And he does a lot of all the thumbnails for it. So we really appreciate their efforts. And of course, we've, for the panels and things like that, we've got Lethal, Mozza, Blabs, Grant Gregory, Mr. Grant Gregory, myself, of course. We've got Steph, of course, as well. And we also have Wicked Virtue. Now, Wicked has taken a bit of a time off from doing it because she's got her own new job that she's doing. She's just trying to get through something there so she can move and do a few things in her personal life. So hopefully she'll be back. And I know that Steph has missed a couple of the more recent ones, but hopefully she'll be back again soon too. But yeah, Wicked Bar. That's right, Wicked Bar. And thank you. Thanks for the sub. Appreciate that. So yeah, go over and sub. Again, to all the people that come and rewatch this stream, once the stream is all done, I appreciate you. Leave some comments in the chat and I'll try and... I do read all of them, but getting to actually write back or comment or anything, again, I appreciate all of you for coming and rewatching the stream. Everyone that's been here today and everybody that continues to be here moving forward, I appreciate all of you. The members, you guys are awesome. You contribute over and above, just to support, which is greatly appreciated. And of course, all the super chats that come through, I appreciate all of that. All right, let's finish off Seal of the Week. Let me end the poll. All right, we got a good 16 votes, and I like the result. All right. So in last place, we had number 2, which is the Hunter Boobs with the Reaver comment. It's been a year since the Kenobi finale, and I feel like the storyline of a young Jedi, of a Jedi youngling who escapes the purge and was so consumed by her pain that she spent her entire adult life as an Inquisitor solely to get revenge against Anakin is still criminally underrated. I disagree because it's fucking ridiculous. But that was in last place. In second last place, with 18% of the vote, was number 4, Star Wars Holocron, with Latina and Latino representation in Star Wars. Yeah. Awesome. The runner-up for this week is number 1, Sawyer. I don't know. Let's see some Rey love. Let's see some Rey Skywalker love for Star Wars positivity. Tell me your favorite thing about Rey. I love her optimism and her willingness to see the good in Ben to help push him back into the light. So, yep, Sawyer, thank you. And the winner for this week's Seal of the Week is Jacob, the one that I thought with 43% of the vote, right? A good old pronoun idiot. Says, every single one of these jewels is better than every lightsaber fight in the prequels, in my opinion. I love how the jewels feel like they actually have weight physically, emotionally, and thematically. They never look insanely choreographed. And then you just go through all the pictures of every single fight from the prequels, which I don't know how any of these fights from the prequels are any better than any of the fights from the prequels. Every fight from the prequels is better than every single one of these fights. So congratulations, Jacob. You are this week's Seal of the Week. Where is it? that's it. We're all done. Another week for Casual Rage. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. I've pretty much done all my outro stuff before we finished off Seal of the Week there. So please, again, just quickly go over, sub to the Full Aussie channel if you're not already. And hey, I'm going to try and, obviously, I'm going to try and clip some of the stream out, make a couple of videos out of it. I'm going to try and put out some content and keep getting some content out. I'm going to try and, again, steer away from some Star Wars stuff and just do some videos. Who knows? Indiana Jones stuff, Witcher stuff. Who knows? I'm just going to try and get some more content out and start expanding out from just the Star Wars stuff. Feel like, in a way, that's what's holding me back, because Star Wars is no longer the juggernaut that it used to be. But guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for all your support. Let me just make sure that I've got we got no new super chats there and nothing over on Streamlabs. You guys are awesome. Thank you. We'll see you next week for another episode of Casual Rage. Take care, guys.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt! A few minutes? Are you kidding? At the rate they're gaining?
No, what is it? You have to shoot this. Traveling through hyperspace is like dusting crops, kid. Without precise calculations, we fly too close to a store. They're bouncing into a supermarket and then...
Yeah.
Be a hell of a mess.
What's that?
Watch. You're losing your deflector shields. Go strap yourselves in. Be careful on the way out.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking very cautious.
You go away.
Bounce too near a supermarket?